Hello, welcome back to Design Patterns. In this video, we are going to discuss about bridge pattern. So this is the second pattern of the structural patterns. So what is the intent? Before that, the name bridge, whatever the name we are defining bridge pattern or the name bridge, when we hear this word, in the mind will definitely will get some bridges like this. So that bridge, in the same way, the bridge is connectivity of two or more independent ways. Same here also, when we coming to the intent, it decouples an abstraction from its implementation so that the two can vary independently. So that the two means two objects or two classes can be vary independently. So that defines the intent of the bridge pattern. So decoupling, nothing but dividing. So dividing an abstraction from its implementation. Whenever the objects and classes are going to be implemented, those objects and classes, or if there is any abstraction way, so those can be decoupled and can be decouples from its implementation, so that the whatever the decoupling can be done, those two classes and those two objects or can vary independently. It is also known as handle or body. So next, coming to the motivation, when an abstraction can have one of several possible implementation, the usual way can accommodate them is to use inherited. So generally, it is an abstract class defining the interface to the abstraction, and concrete subclasses implement it in different ways. So here what I am telling is nothing but motivation defines the problem and also solution to that problem. Here we are using the inheritance as a one of the abstract class defines the interface to an abstraction. So the bridge pattern addresses these problems by putting the window abstraction and its implementation in separate class hierarchies. Once you see this diagram, you will definitely know about the how the bridge pattern works. Here, why I am highlighted with the red color means whatever the main points, main words which is used to define the in diagram way or defining the problem or finding the solution. So that's why I highlighted the words with red color. So coming to the motivation diagram, here I'm taking the class as window and window implementation class. So draw text, draw rectangle, device, draw text, device, draw line. So here window defines the two types of windows, icon window and transient window. Window implementation defines the X window imp and PM window imp. So this is the way to define every diagram, motivation diagram, as window and window implementation classes. So window implementation classes mainly depends on window class. So window means icon window, transient window. Window implementation means X window imp and PM window imp. Imp means implementation. This is the motivation, and two window classes and window implementation classes, those two classes are decoupling and also performing the independent work. So independent work, this can be described as bridge pattern. Next, coming to the applicability. Use the bridge pattern when you want to avoid a permanent binding between an abstraction and its implementation. When both the abstraction and their implementation should be extensible by subclassing, you want to hide that implementation of abstraction completely from clients. So first, where this bridge pattern will be implemented means when we want to avoid permanent binding. So binding means uh, combining. So whenever there is a combining way, there the bridge pattern does not apply. When we want to divide, when there is need to divide cases, only the bridge pattern will be applied. So but permanent binding between an abstraction and its implementation. Whenever both the abstractions and their implementation should be extensible by subclassing. In that way, we'll implement this bridge pattern. So next, coming to the when we want to hide the implementation of abstraction completely from the clients. In that way also we'll implement this bridge pattern. So this is about applicability where the bridge pattern is applied. So this is about applicability. Next, coming to the structure. So structure of this bridge pattern, it defines the structure, main structure, abstraction, implementer. Abstraction means defined abstraction, implementer means concrete implementer A, concrete implementer B. So abstraction, in this abstraction there is the operation, and in the abstraction, defined abstraction, implementer means operation implement, and concrete implementer A and B means we can define the two classes which defines as implementer classes. So this is about the structure. So abstraction means window class, implementer means window implementation class, refined abstraction means icon window, transient window, implementer class means concrete implementer A, sorry, implementer class means window imp, concrete implementer A means A and B and C something, X window imp, PM window imp, Mac window imp, all this comes under the structure with participants. What I told now is participants. So for participant, abstraction as window, refined abstraction as icon window and transient window, implementer as window implementation, concrete implementer as a X window imp and PM window imp. Next, coming to the collaborations. So abstraction forwards the client request to its implementer object. So this is, we can call it as a collaboration. So collaboration means interaction, way of interaction which is followed from the collaboration. This is a collaborations way of interaction which abstraction forwards all the client requests to its implemented object. Then what the implementer do? If we, that implementer implements the classes in the subclasses with concrete implementers. So this is about collaboration. Next, coming to the consequences. So consequences defines the decoupling interface and implementation. It improved extensibility, hiding implementation details from clients. So this is the results when we apply the bridge pattern. What the results we faced mean. So this is the results. It decoupling interface and implementation. Decoupling means dividing. Interface, what the interface we are using, and implementation also totally independent work will be performed. This will result when this bridge pattern is applied. And extension also can be totally improved. Why? Because every class independent work will be done. So that's why improving of extensibility also done, also performing as a result of consequence, or one of the consequence of our bridge pattern applied. So next, coming to the hiding implementation details from client. All the implementation details can be hidden from the clients. In that case also the result will be faced when this pattern is applied. Next, coming to the implementation. Only one implementer class will be used. Oh, that is only window implementation, window imp. So rest of all is extension of those classes. Next, coming to the creating the right implementer object that performs the bridge pattern. So when we implement the right implemented object only, in that case only will the implementation of that, in that case only will go for this one of the method to be performed as implementation method as creating the right implementer object. So whenever we share the implementer, sharing the implementer also can be defined as implementation way. Sharing. So only single implementation class will be done. Based on the single implementation class, all the subclasses can be shared. So that is nothing but sharing implementers. Next, coming to the using multiple inheritance. Whenever the multiple inheritance can be used, in that case also we'll go for implementation way as using multiple inheritance. Okay, so this is the these are also some of the four methods of implementation techniques will define in bridge pattern. Next, coming to the sample code. So what is the sample code we need? So the main sample code, the main abstract class defining is nothing but abstraction. So implementer as implementation object. So method calls as public void operation. So imp dot method will be called, function will be called as imp dot operation imp. So here class refined abstraction extends from abstraction. So abstract class implementer. So again public abstract void implementer implementation method will be called. So this is the sample code which is written from the structure. Next, coming to the same continuation of, we are taking two implementer A and implementer B. So for that two concrete classes also we need to define the syntax code. Here the class concrete implementer A extends implementer, public void operation imp implement the code. Class concrete implementer B extends implementer, public void operation imp. So implement the code. So this is about code which is defined. Next, coming to the sample code which is defined. The next, coming to the known uses. So here what is the known uses means window implementation and interfacing are the known uses. Window implementation class already we all discussed entire describing this pattern. So, and interfacing, why? Because interfacing means interfacing also can be performed more as inheritance, or using multiple inheritances, or some conversion of one interface to the another interface. All can be discussed in this bridge pattern, which performs in the independent work. So this is about known uses. And coming to the related pattern, so conversion is there, no, so that's why it is the adapter pattern is mostly supported for bridge pattern. And second one is abstract factory. In that, the factory calls the product classes and subclasses as a subclasses to be accessed. So that's why abstract factory pattern is also most supportable pattern to the bridge pattern. So this is about, we can call it as a related pattern. And in this video we all discussed about the bridge pattern. I hope you all understood about the bridge pattern. In the next video we'll see the next pattern. So thank you very much.